Welcome back to LTR Gaming, and I'm Troy. This particular video, Sony, this is what we're doing. The Last of Us PS5 controller. I mean, listen, man, I did a video recently in regards to the statement that Neil Druckmann recently said in regard to the Last of Us franchise, and the fact that he basically said, don't be looking forward. Don't be looking forward to it, in so many words, because they're not making The Last of Us 3. He has no interest in that. So it looks like to me here that Sony's attempting to get rid of backstock. Backstock of product related to The Last of Us. Of course, we got season 2 coming out. And I'm not going to lie, I'm looking forward to that because I want to watch that. But what's the point of this controller? What's the point of it? Now, I'm not going to front. It does look cool with all the little symbols and fireflies and things of that nature. And I was like, yo, that looks like a dope controller. But wouldn't it even be more dope if a game was coming out with it? Or an announcement that, hey, Naughty Dog is in the studio working on The Last of Us 3. Go out and get this PS5 Last of Us controller. You should have pushed this with the PS4, to be quite honest. If you was going to make a Last of Us controller, right? Because that was pretty much at the height, I would say, as far as the game is concerned, because The Last of Us 2, remember, came out on the PS4. You should have pushed that with that. But I don't even remember there being a Last of Us controller when The Last of Us 2 came out. Even with The Last of Us, the original game, part 1, I don't remember Naughty Dog pushing The Last of Us controller then. So why would you push one now? Oh, okay, you're just trying to get as much you can get out of this series that you know you have no interest in continuing to breathe life in. I mean, I get it. Sony's a business. You know, they're here to make money. They're here to capitalize as much as they can on their products or their licenses and their brand. And this is just another way to milk more money, to me, out of the consumer. Because at the end of the day, The Last of Us 2 has been remastered. The Last of Us 1 has been remastered so many times. I mean, it's I mean, at one point in time, like, when is enough enough? Like, you can't bleed any more out of this rock at this point in time. Because I don't know who's gonna, unless you're like a fanatic, or, now, hear me out, if you're an individual that never played the actual game, but you did see the TV show, and that prompted you to want to go out and buy a PlayStation 5 to play The Last of Us 1, Part 1, and The Last of Us Part 2, then you might, I'm a fan of the series, I'm a fan of the show. Now I want to be a part of the gaming universe in relation to The Last of Us. But I don't think that many, because this is like more of this is a gamer's controller. This isn't a novice controller. This isn't someone that just stumbled upon The Last of Us and just stumbled into the gaming industry because the show was good. You know, you would make a controller like that for somebody that's well ingratiated with the series, with the story. Hell, it might damn near be a collectible at this point. Leave it up to Neil Druckmann, because he's not making another Last of Us. But I just don't see the controller selling as well as they think it's going to sell. It just, to me, it just feels like a money grab to me, to be quite honest. And I get it. There's a lot of gaming companies and games that come out that have their own controller associated with the game and is unique by the color scheme or maybe a design on it that, you know, is associated with the game. The Last of Us, Naughty Dog isn't the first company that has done this. But my thing is, you putting this out, and what are you going to go back and play a game that came out 3-4 years ago? Or you going to go back and play the original Last of Us that came out close to a decade ago with this new controller? For what? We're not getting the Last of Us faction, which was supposed to be the Last of Us multiplayer, right? That would have been a great way to launch this controller if you had that game coming out or something to look forward to in the future that the gamers knew was going to be there for us to play at some point in time. But we know that you canceled that, and you have no intentions on making The Last of Us 3. But you're going to push this controller out on us for what? I'm not going to buy that. You might buy it, and that's your right. If you're an individual that this fancy you, go for it. But I'm not going to be a part of the just blindlessly spending and giving my money away to companies that don't give a damn about what we, the consumer, want. We've been asking for Last of Us 3. We were promised The Last of Us Online multiplayer. We're not getting either one. So I'm not paying $70 for a controller for a game that's been out over a decade now, and there's not going to be any more iterations of that game. The story is done. I'm not paying for that. So Sony convinced me with that. I just found it quite interesting that they would even fix their face to even promote something like this and at a time and state like this, once we just were told that there's nothing to look forward to in regard to the series going forward, because they're not going to put any more resource into creating a part 3 of it. So I'm Troy. This is LTR Gaming. That's my spill. Don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Catch you in the next one. Peace.